Hello, Ali. My name is Rafael Crisanto, and you've asked me to advise you regarding your employee status. In order to do so, we need to go through certain tests, such as the control test, the integration test, economic reality test, and the composite test. The first test I would like to explain to you is the control test. The control test, as explained in the case of Walker and Crystal Palace Football Club, an employee must act under the general instructions given by the employer, which is applicable in your case as you were giving a uniform to wear when attending appointments with clients, and also whenever you were unable to attend an appointment, you had to contact your employer and let him know so that he could find a replacement. So therefore, considering the control test, you are considered to be as an employee and not as a self-employed person. Moving on to the second test, which is the integration test. The integration test, as explained through the case of Stevenson and McDonald, um, you have to be a part and parcel of the company, which means that if you had an additional role apart from your main role in the company, then you will be considered as an employee. If not, then you will be considered as a self-employed person. Since you had no additional roles in the company, according to the integration test, you are not part and parcel of the company, but you are considered to be a self-employed person. The third test I would like to discuss with you is the economic reality test. As in the case of market investments, since you are paying your own taxes and national insurance, then you are not considered to be an employee. You're considered to be a self-employed person because if you were an employee, your your manager or your company would be paying your taxes and national insurance for you. For you. Therefore, according to the economic reality test, you're not considered to be an employee. You're considered to be a self-employed person. The final test I would like to discuss with you is the composite test. There are three conditions to the composite test: personal service, control to a sufficient degree, and any evidence in your contract that makes your contract a contract of service. According to the case of McFarlane and Glasgow City Council, since the substitute has to be another member of the team, you can be considered as an employee. In addition, and that covers the first condition of the test, which is personal service. In addition, there is sufficient control by your employer, since he gave you the uniform to wear during your appointments, and also you were you had to book you had to use their showroom in Hatfield at least one Saturday per month, which gives that there was the control of a sufficient degree. Moving on to the third condition, unfortunately, there is no evidence in your contract specifying it as a contract of service. So it might be a contract for service, which might consist you to a self-employed person instead of an employee. And in addition, there is no mutuality of obligation between you and your employer, which means that if your which means that you are not you do not have you're not obliged to accept any extra hours or any hours at all regarding to your work, and your employer on the same wise is not is not obliged to offer any hours of work to you. And in addition, as you mentioned before, you have no set hours, which strikes out the neutrality of obligation. In conclusion, I would like to state that due to the fact that you do not pay your own national insurance and taxes, and even though that there is certain evidence that might consist you as an employee, you should be considered as a self-employed person. And this is because of your of the taxes that you pay on your own, of the national insurance that you're providing that you're paying for yourself, and also there is no mutuality of obligation, which is the is probably one of the major differences between a self-employed person and an employee.